Hi guys, and welcome back to a new episode discussion with Tanoka One. This week we are going over episode 5 of season 12, titled The One You've Been Waiting For. It was written by Meredith Glynn, who is one of our new writers. I think we got 2 or 3 new writers this season. And then also was directed by, I think, our first female director, Nina Lopez Gorado. There's a lot of mixed reaction to this episode. If you watched my reaction video, you of course know what I thought about it. But, you know, we are fixing to go over the different, the ask and stuff that you sent in to me on Tumblr, to go over your reactions and everything like that and see what you thought about it and, you know, of course, feedback on my end. So here we go. Lily Artemis Phoenix said, "Hey, I love this episode of Supernatural. It was good. I especially loved how Sam had to tell Dean not to touch anything in the antique shop after he, Dean, knocked over the model of a ship, and I was laughing because of Sam's expression." And I was just like, I'm sorry, is there an unlucky rabbit's foot somewhere in the room? Because Dean apparently touched it. Next, he's gonna lose a shoe. Nobu Akuma said, "It was an amazing and really uplifting episode, particularly after the past couple of days. But I must admit, I'm a bit disappointed of how little of Aaron we actually got, and that Cass wasn't even mentioned." Frowny face. Dean could have at least said something like, "I got to tell Mom and Cass I killed Hitler." New writer. New writer. And new writer. That's like I said, newbies get a free pass if they make errors. This was, personally to me, this episode was terrible. I hated it. It was so boring. It was badly paced, not funny. Mocked, just like, there's so many issues with this episode. Like, literally, it was up there with Route 666 and Bugs for me. Like, I kid you not. It was that bad. Some of the mistakes, you know, as far as, okay, not quite being in the groove of things, I can, like, not mentioning Mary or Cass, I blame on being a new writer. They haven't quite learned how to juggle all the things they need to juggle. But, yeah. XS Bettina said, "This episode was weird, but I actually liked it. It was kind of light, you put lightheaded, I think you meant lighthearted, even though it was about Hitler. And also, I get a Sam Ellie vibe? Ellie vibe. Also, I get a Sam Ellie vibe? LMAO, almost lawyer and almost doctor. Also, Sam was a total parent this episode. Reassuring Dean they will get the grenade launcher one day. They will get to use the grenade launcher one day. Getting pie. But damn, we wanted Sam and Dean to be honest. But telling her about Lucifer might be just a little too honest. But again, many parallels this episode. The boys being bros is always cute." I did not pick up on the Sam Ellie thing. Apparently some people did. Yeah, no. I didn't pick up on that at all. He actually remembered the pie this time, and that was a scene that it sort of bugged me because there was it's almost like Sam's trying to provoke Dean into talking about something, and he's wanting, like, more like something's happened and he's trying to garner a reaction, so he does the one thing he knows will get some sort of reaction or either prove that Dean is a pod person by getting him pie, which Dean turns down and seems not at all interested in, which is just proof. Okay, pod person. And then they don't go anywhere from that. That, like, other than the fact that, you know, that Dean is performing, basically. And pretending he's okay and that everything's fine and shoving down his, what he considers, unacceptable behavior in a guy, you know, and replacing them with what he thinks is, you know, socially acceptable. And it didn't go anywhere. I mean, it had potential. It was just like it was trying to get to something and it just veered off path. Not sure what happened. Really not. Sam Eleanor, anyone? Is her name Ellie or is it Eleanor? I don't even remember. I just remember I kept thinking the whole time, God, you talk a lot. LMAO, they are both adorable dorks. She talks a lot. She really talks a lot. I mean, Sam has a tendency to yammer, and Charlie, of course, yammered. But they did it in ways that were really cute, where with her, it was just like a little bit too much. Just like, okay, pull it back just a little. Just a little. You know, maybe not quite so much. Anonymous said, Sam and HP all remind me of, Harry Potter. Reminded me of when he comforted Charlie with that. So cute. Yes. I do love when they reference, like, complete nerd culture. It just makes me happy down to my soul, because it's like, yes, good. Like, because I know they can't be the only ones who reference, like, pop culture all the time in everyday life, because I know, even just, okay, I'm the biggest nerd at work, even though I'm a closet nerd, and most people don't realize how big of a nerd I am. But, you know, they're non-fandom folk, and they still quote, like, Steel Magnolias at each other all the time. And you know, about, like, when one of them's in a bad mood or, you know, basically just having a tantrum or something, they'll be talking about, do you need some juice? You need some juice. Just had any juice. And, you know, and they're referencing Steel Magnolias. And then, of course, they'll quote the movie at each other all the time. Don't ask me why. It's a thing at work. You know, but, you know, they will quote movies at each other all the time. So I like the fact that the characters also quote stuff at each other all the time. And then the fact that, of course, they quote things that we appreciate and are near and dear to our hearts. You know, now if they started quoting some Tolkien, that'd be great. Though they do, but Charlie was the main one who did it. Let's see. Anonymous said, LMAO loved Parent Sam this episode. It's okay, big bro. Maybe not today, but we will use the grenade launcher eventually. And oh my god, I get it, you killed Hitler. The bro moments are just amazing. Yeah, they were cute. Like I said, this whole episode was just bad for me. It was so, I really am unable to share in your enthusiasm as far as a lot of the moments you appreciated, because I'm just, most of it was just going, oh my god. I do want Dean to finally be able to use the freaking grenade launcher though, because it would be like Meg getting to charge the Impala through the Dick Roman sign. I mean, that's just how ecstatic he'd be. And like, they would be equal in that moment of just, yes. That was an awesome moment with Meg. Ah. Anonymous said, Selenor? LMAO, one is meant to bring back Lucifer and one Hitler. One didn't finish law school and one didn't finish doctorate. Both are nervous beings who mumble and are cute dorks. Take your word for it. Like, I really did not like her. I thought she was very annoying. But again, that's just my personal take. A lot of people apparently liked her and immediately shipped her with Sam. Kudos for you. There's all the more people we can ship Sam with, the better. You know, I love shipping Sam. I ship Sam with just about everybody. I just didn't ship him with her. I actually did not really care for her character in the slightest, which I don't mean rude or anything like that. It just, she was really annoying to me. She was really annoying. Lustus Homos said, didn't see the note at the end, LMAO, but honestly, criticism on the consistency of German language in the show. Randomly saying, and in the middle of a sentence, yelling that girl in German to, I'm assuming, his son, who in the next scene is speaking very badly accented English. Why? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Do you know how many people's hands this episode had to pass through and they all had to give their okay before it made it to screen? And I'm just like, did nobody at any point during the process of this think, hey, you know, maybe this is a bad idea? Maybe trying to make light of, you know, World War II and Hitler, especially in light of current events, is a bad idea. You know, maybe trying to make light of the man who led the, you know, the greatest mass genocide in the history of man, pretty much, you know, is a bad idea. You know, there's ways they could have done it, because there's ways it's been done, where you can have Hitler in an episode. Doctor Who has done it, the producers have done it. Heck, Supernatural has had Hitler in previous episodes, and it wasn't this bad. You know, this is like the third episode revolving around Hitler and World War II and the Nazis. And I don't understand how nobody at any point thought, maybe we should rework this. Maybe we should rethink this. Now, granted, people, I would make a note. Andrew Dabb, showrunner, let us know that the writer of this episode is now on Twitter. I don't remember her handle. I think it's mostly her name. But then tells you and warns you, be gentle. I am advising you very strongly. Be nice. Seriously, I don't care if you didn't like the episode. That does not give you a reason to be rude. It does not give you a reason to be mean. I don't care if she wrote the worst episode in the history of TV ever. You know, be nice about it. You know, welcome to the SPN family. You know, this episode was maybe not my favorite. You know, if you have to say something negative, you know, good luck next episode. be nice about it. You know, be SPN family. That is what we're supposed to be. And especially in these dark, dire, terrible times we're in, you know, where a deformed orange pumpkin in a toupee is now the president-elect, we need all the love and kindness in the world we can get. Because hatred is apparently spewing from people's mouths and coming out of the woodwork, you know, in ways that just has shocked me over this past week. You know, I knew there was a lot of hatred in the world. I guess I was raised on so many stories where hope in humanity and humanity comes through, and we pull together and care for each other enough, and that ultimately ends up being what saves the world. You know, plucky humans who pull together in our darkest times. And when we should have pulled together, we voted in a monster, and I'm just sort of hurt. In which case, you know, I'm not even, you know, the one greatest threatened by this. You know, I'm at least have some measure of protection over the fact that, one, I ain't white, and two, I'm married to a man. You know, so that basically I can pass as a white straight girl, even if I'm not. And so it just, yeah. Moving on. Son of a bitch SPN family, hi, said, well, for this episode, I only have one thing to say. Did you know that Dean Winchester killed Hitler? Did he? Really? I didn't know that. What part was that in? I must have missed it. I'll have to go back and rewind it. I have to rewatch the episode now. I did not know that at all. Oh my gosh, how did I miss it? XS Bettina. Also, I'm disappointed we didn't get to see Aaron more. He was only in it for like a minute, right? Oh my god. In which case, poor Adam Rose. God love him. He's so precious. I love that boy. He even said that he wanted to basically warn the SPN fandom about the fact that, hey, guys, don't get your hopes up. I know it was presented as a big thing about, hey, I'm back, but I'm not really. I'm in it for like 2 seconds. But he couldn't tell us, and I know a lot of us were really looking forward to Adam and Dean, or Aaron and Dean being reunited. And, you know, hint, nudges, winks back to their last episode and sort of an in-running joke that we have within fandom about, you know, Aaron being Dean's gay thing. And, you know, and just like that joke just keeps going. And we have a lot of fun with it. You know, and just there's so much gold potential there. They just could have used, they could have teamed up. They could have pretended to be each other's gay thing to get information or something. I don't know. It could have been great. We could have had it. And we just didn't. And I'm sad. And I'm just like, why? I'm sorry, Adam. I miss you already. Please come back. You can blame it all on me. Anonymous said, they tried hard with Eliza, or whatever her name was, to make her dorky. Also, they tried the parallel things again like last week, but it worked so much better last week. It seemed natural. I think maybe whatever her name was, nobody can apparently agree on it, was meant to sort of be a Sam parallel. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to hint, nudge, nudge that Sam eventually needs to get back into lawyering. Go read To Kill a Mockingbird and get inspired and go back to school. But I didn't really see too many parallels other than maybe that, and it wasn't very well done at all. Anonymous said, I try to find the good in every episode. Sam being Parent Sam was nice, but the episode was all over the place. Sad thing is I see many points where they had great potential. Yeah, the whole idea had great potential. You know, basically anything on Supernatural has great potential. I mean, these are, it's a gold mine you can work with. There's so much fun to be had with Supernatural. That's why we love fanfiction so much. There's no end to the party. And it just, like, oh, God. Yeah. It was so bad. I'm still traumatized. No. It just, oh, God. Anonymous said, okay, the actors on the show are all so amazing. J2, M2, but the writing sometimes sucks. Oh my goodness, it's sad because we have amazing episodes, and then this that could have had potential, but sorry, no. J Squared did their thing, of course. Wow. New writer. She's new. She was just born. She just saw the light. She doesn't know any better. She'll learn. She'll get better, hopefully. You know, hopefully the other writers and showrunners come around and join together and basically, okay, you did good. Here's maybe some things you could do differently next time, or, you know, maybe here's some things you need to learn from. hopefully, well, actually, I don't even know if I wanted to look and see fan reaction, because y'all are mean a lot of times. Like, I mean, seriously, the internet is a place where apparently people think they can just tell somebody to just go die, and they think that's okay. And I'm like, no, 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 that's not how constructive criticism works, okay? You have to be positive and be nice, but also, okay, here's some things that need to be worked on, and this is how you could maybe make them better. You know, you had some good points here, but these are areas that needed work. You know, and so I hope Meredith learns from this and that she does continue to get better. There are a lot of other really strong writers on the team. So, you know, hopefully she does have people that, you know, set her aside or either sit down with her and be like, okay, let's go over this, you know, and here's ways we can improve. Andrew Dabb apparently considers her a friend. So maybe he'll be the one to kindly sit her down and be like, okay, this needs work. This needs work. I have faith in you. I know you're nervous. Because like I said, guys, be nice. She's new. She's new to Supernatural. She has 12 seasons worth of crap to catch up on, you know, before she wrote this episode. And probably just wrote it because she had to. So while she's still trying to get caught up on the rest of the show. And didn't have too much, I don't know how much backstory she even has. Or if they just gave her like a very brief, quick rundown of the show. Anonymous said, I wanted a little more of Aaron. What a shame. But at least he's doing great work in Germany and Dean's bud. Yes. 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 Personally, I have a headcanon that he is permanently in Dean's phone as gay thing. Just as a hilarious inside joke. Because seriously, that's never going to stop being funny. That episode is never going to stop being gold. That just, oh, that makes me happy down to my heart. Like, you know, gay thing. Yeah. He's my gay thing. In which case, you know, if anybody's ever going through Dean's phone, they're just going to be like, who? What? What? Excuse me? Yeah, no, it's a joke. It's, never mind. You wouldn't get it. It's inside joke. I'm so disappointed we didn't get to see more of Aaron. And he was in it for like 2 seconds. We didn't even get to see the golem, dude. I'm so just sad. Y'all need to write fanfic to fix this episode. And from now on, we'll just remember episode 5 as the fanfic instead. And we won't remember the actual episode because it didn't happen. Okay? Alright? Do we agree? Yes. Good. Anonymous said, okay, I love Supernatural. Jared and Jensen have been amazing since day 1 in my opinion. I just love them. Then Misha and Mark came and they are great. Ruth, Kim, etc. are also very good. I honestly think the show could go on a few more seasons because I see so many storyline potentials they could go. But some of the writers need to go. They butchered just so many great storyline ideas. It's still early this season, but this episode was boring. I didn't hate it, but it was boring. New writer. Brand new, just saw the light for the first time. Literally just birthed. Okay? Just birthed. You know, they don't even know how to walk yet. Okay? They gotta learn how to walk. And unfortunately, there was a lot of stumbling this episode. But, you know, like I said, hopefully they'll learn and they'll get better. And you know, I believe that if the Supernatural writing team gets together and they'll work together, they can make each other better. Iron sharpens iron. Anonymous said, so the whole Aaron thing coming back built up, I heard since Comic-Con, was for him to come have less than a minute of screen time? Yes. Triscar368 said, I'm just pretending that episode never happened. Fanfic, we're gonna do it. It's gonna replace the episode. It's gonna be great, trust me. The only redeeming factor in this is the gag reel. Please give Jensen more espresso. I wish it affected me the way it affected him. Like, literally, I could curl up and go to sleep after having a shot. I can't. The writing was so heavy-handed, it felt like a rough draft written at 2 a.m. at gunpoint. That's so mean! That was nice. That was very eloquent. Actually, no, I could do better at 2 a.m. at gunpoint. What the hell? They completely wasted Aaron's guest spot. They did. I'm so sad. It hurts my soul. I don't even get any gifable Hitler deaths with a grenade launcher. I may just rewrite the whole damn thing out of spite. That's what I'm saying. Just do the whole thing. The whole episode. You know where, you know, yes. The whole thing. The whole thing. Just yes. And the episode never happened. And I'm very, very sad we didn't get Hitler killed with a grenade launcher so that we could gif over, the two-paid pumpkin's face over Hitler instead. Anonymous said, didn't like the episode. Hitler was too overdone, no mention of Cass, and nothing significant happened except Dean killing a version of Hitler who's more interested in dogs than world domination. What an accomplishment. Guess Dean not eating pie and then wanting to go eat pie was the biggest progress we got. Everything felt too lighthearted. Wish they could center more of the ramifications over Mary leaving and Lucifer being free, but hey, Cass, Crowley, and Witch got it all by themselves, right? Yeah, this is something I think I've mentioned in previous episodes. When it comes to writing, there's a thing called kill your darlings, which basically means even if it's your favorite scene, if it does nothing to add to either to progress the storyline or promote character development, get rid of it. If you can remove an entire scene and it not affect the plot at all, you need to rework it and make it critical or either just get rid of it to begin with. The whole scene with Aaron could have been cut. It literally was not necessary to the plot at all. It was just so they could have Adam Rose make an appearance. And that's really bad. That's really, really bad. There was so much of the episode that could have been cut. That it's or reworked. But easily could have been cut and not changed anything. And that's really bad. Okay, if you can cut out entire scenes and it not change anything, you better start at the beginning rewriting the whole thing. I mean, that's bad. I cannot stress enough how important that rule is, that you need to keep that in mind. And anyways, Anonymous said, I wonder why they're having Sam have so many parallels with people in these two episodes. Last episode was more natural, but still they're trying to do that in both. I don't know why, but it's interesting to me. Then next week, Jodie is coming back. Woo! Sorry, I got excited. I love Jodie. I love Jodie. Did I mention I love Jodie? Because I do. Sorry, I totally got distracted and lost my place. Jodie is coming back, who always teams up with Sam. It could just be showing Sam is opening up more while Dean is doing the opposite, so contrast, but something about it makes me think maybe it's for a different reason. I don't know if it makes sense, but it seems like it's leading to something. Well, I can't really predict what's going to happen. I can only predict kind of what I would do with it and what I hope they would do with it, because to me that makes the most sense. In which case we kind of have, you have Sam who is allowing himself to get closer to people again, and then you have Dean who is very much pulling away and shutting down. In which case he even says, talking about the fact that he, that basically faking and pretending and performing in order to hide feelings that he thinks aren't acceptable is just something he does. That's part of his whole personality, is to hide the parts of him that he thinks are not socially acceptable, like bisexuality, or, being emotional over his mom leaving, or emotional in general, or the fact that he's a nester. He hides all of these with this toxic, masculinity idea and persona that he thinks he needs to do, or that he thinks is okay, rather than just, dude, be yourself. The way you are is just fine. And, he admits the fact that that's what he does. So, I'm really kind of hoping that over the course of the season, as I mentioned in an earlier episode, the fact that all the characters seem to basically be trying to figure their crap out. And, that over the season, that they eventually do start to figure their crap out. Because Dean's gotten a lot of life advice recently that we know very much he's longing for things. And kind of basically wanting to settle down. Except he's never let himself, and he's never let himself really want or hope or really nest. And, these are things Dean desperately wants and needs. Dean wants a family. Dean wants his whole family together and happy, and and he wants his mother's approval and love, and it destroys him that he feels he doesn't have it. And then, he constantly feels the desperate need that everybody is leaving him all the time, and that he'll never be good enough for them to stay. So I hope that's something that gets, the more he shuts down, that eventually over the course of the season, he realizes, one, that he's got people who are going to end up staying with him, and that he can just be himself, and that he comes to terms and faces the things that he thinks he needs to hide, and just basically learns to love himself and be okay with himself and stop basically putting on this persona that he thinks of the person who he thinks he needs to be. Anonymous said, I'm not sure this week was the best time to broadcast this episode. Well, it's either the worst timing or the best, depending on your perspective, I guess. Dean being so gleeful about shooting a fascist dictator in the head, the newly installed over-the-top fascist dictator who's just boasted about what he could do with that power of Twitter. There's people who are going to read into that SPN, and I literally have no idea if you want them to or not. I actually didn't think of it like that until you said that. Because at first I was thinking there's no way they could have known that this episode was going to air the same day, basically after the election, and, the warped potato was going to become president-elect. There's no way they could have really known that, and they can't just pull the episode because of the fact that, oh crap, because they'd had to go back and reshoot an entire episode, and that would have put them back several weeks as far as the rest of the show. But now you've got me wondering if the writer wasn't trying to be clever. And it basically, yes, it was Hitler, but it really wasn't. It was an orange pumpkin and a toupee. And they just called him Hitler. And it really, really wasn't, though. It wasn't. It was like Hitler Jr. With spray tan and a toupee and tiny hands and rape allegations and, fraud and $1 billion loss just last year. Not naming names, but... Anonymous said, the whole time Sam and Dean were fighting the Nazis, I was thinking, where's Cass? Cass should be there. They're fighting Nazis. You need some Angel on your side, boys. I was sad there wasn't even a mention of Cass in the episode. They could have called him or something because, Nazis. Also sad Dean didn't get to use his grenade launcher. So close. I'm really glad Misha was spared this episode. I'm not gonna lie to you. And when they use the grenade launcher, it needs to be epic. This episode was not worthy of the grenade launcher. Anonymous said, what a waste of Aaron, in my opinion. Anonymous said, the one you've been waiting for? I think they mean the one you've been dreading for. Anonymous said, so now I regret staying up to watch 2 things this week. Thanks, Supernatural. Okay, at least I didn't cry watching this episode. I was just bored out of my mind. Anonymous said, I don't even know what they were going for with this episode. Literally, no idea. And no Cass. For no reason. Again. I'm sorry you dragged yourself out of your sick bed just to watch that. First ever episode of Supernatural, both written and directed by women, too. To say I'm disappointed would be an understatement, but maybe that's the theme of this year. No, it's fine. Seriously, because, we need... Given current time and events and things currently going on, I think it's super important that we focus on the things we love. And I think it's very much important that we focus on even more helping each other and being there for each other. And which case, I know some people may have considered it insensitive or vapid or something like that as far as to almost immediately after the election to still continue to post or blog about things like Supernatural rather than about the election. But we need those things. We've always needed those things. Fandom has always been a safe zone. It's been a coping mechanism. Fandom of whatever kind, be it be sports, television, books, painting, art, charity work, whatever it is that you throw yourself into that owns a part of your heart, that is your safe go-to to deal with things that it's just like, I can't with you right now. And I know for a lot of people, not just myself, Supernatural is that. And so when things are basically horrible currently, I want to make sure that people still have that safe go-to there for them and available. So, yes, I will drag my butt out of bed to watch Supernatural so that y'all know that the reaction videos and the discussion videos that I promise y'all every week are still going to be there. I will do 5 shots of espresso in a row trying to hammer out the next chapter of a fic, even though I've got, I can't string 2 words together because I'm miserable. And, you know, I will sacrifice sleep. I will sacrifice, you know, whatever I've got to, because I know this is important. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than even Supernatural. It's about y'all, you know, and that's important. So I mean, I don't mind at all. Like really, seriously, I don't just do this for me. I do this for y'all. Anonymous said, "Oh my god, I disliked Ellie. Maybe it's unfair, but she annoyed me." Like, I get it, anyone would be freaked out, but it was just annoying the things she did. Also, stop shipping Sam with her, like, why? He always gets shipped with either annoying or etc. women. He deserves better ships, LMAO. Jared and Jensen did their thing, of course, like always, but this episode was boring and kind of been there, done that type. It shouldn't have felt that way since it had potential, but let's see you next week. Hey, Jody's back. Yes. Jody is back. I'm very excited. Really kind of hoping she goes protective mama bear on Mary. And just like, yes. It's like, your place. I'm not their mother, but I'm gonna be, you know, basically be their protective mother right now because you have failed them. And you've hurt my boys, even though they're not my boys and they're yours. So, in which case, I like Sam, and I like most of his ships. Like I said, I ship Sam with just about everybody. Except for Dean and Castiel. I ship him with Lucifer, I ship him with Sarah. I shipped him with Sarah for like 7 years. They brought her back and they killed her, and I was heartbroken. I'd shipped them for like 8 years. She'd been in one episode. I waited 7 years for her to come back, and they killed her. And I'm just like, no. Oh god, this is how an OTP dies. Ah. But you know, I shipped him with Madison, I ship him with Ruby, I ship him with I've shipped him with Jody depending on the fic. You know, it's like Sam is very shippable. I know a lot of people ship him with Gabriel, but they're more like a bro TP to me, because I just like when they bicker and argue and get on each other's nerves and are sarcastic and sassy back and forth like all the live long day, and I'm just like, yes, this good. This makes my whole heart happy. Not even just a part of it, the whole heart. And I'm just like, yes. So I actually ship Sam with most of the girls on the show. Dorothy is one I definitely ship him with. And wish she would come back and marry Sam, and they have the most gorgeous and badass children on the face of the planet that could conquer the world and probably several others in the process while looking fabulous. So, you know, I don't get why people are shipping Sam and Eiley or Eleanor or whatever her name is, but, you know, ship and let ship. It happens. They pinged with you in a way that makes you happy. Go for it. Didn't ping with me. I'm gonna go, like, I got like an armada over here of other ships. I'm gonna go play with them. You know, so that's good. It's you know, something for everybody, and that's the great thing about a show that's running this long. There's always something for everybody. But that is it for this week. We will be back, of course, you know, next week, unless there's a hiatus I don't know about. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, reblog, share with others, you know, let other people know, hey, this is the thing, so that they can throw in and join in on the fun. Because like I said, I don't just do this for me, I do this for y'all. This is fun to get to interact with y'all. And I know y'all seem to have a lot of fun with it, so that's really important to me. And you know, and the world needs all the fun and happy it can get. Because we never know what tomorrow holds. And I hope to see y'all back next week. Bye!